Well, let's go live to Adam Rainey now, who joins us from Brazil's economic capital, Sao Paulo. Adam, what can you tell us about events on the ground right now?
Well, we were tracking the protesters. We were out there among them until recently. We're only a couple kilometers from where they are right now. We came off so we could file this report. And what we've seen is a very wide-ranging protest. It's not just these transit fare hikes. It's not just World Cup spending and Olympic spending. People are pretty upset with what the government is giving them. That's what we're hearing from people in the crowd, and we're seeing it visually in the signs that they're showing the crowd. There's many signs talking about infrastructure, talking about health, talking about education, talking about democracy, freedom. So these transit rate hikes have kind of sparked a wide-ranging protest movement that is pretty unhappy with what their leaders are offering them. We've seen protests across Brazil here on Monday, going into Tuesday from southeast, here where we are, also Belo Horizonte, and southeast Brazil, which got quite violent with tear gas and rubber bullets fired there, although police here in Sao Paulo say they're not going to take such measures if the protests remain peaceful. So people are just clearly upset, and we're going to be tracking it here for the next few days.
All right, Adam, a wide-ranging protest. You say a lot of discontent at the government. How has it been responding to this growing protest movement?
Well, first off, they responded violently in the protests in recent days, and they've also denied that the hikes is any such big deal to concern about. They say those transit fee hikes are actually lower than the rate of inflation here, and they also say that people have the right to protest, but that they must do so peacefully. But we do have some people out in the crowds protesting a specific person here in Sao Paulo, and that's the governor of Sao Paulo State, and he himself has called many of these members of the protest movement vandals. So although the government now is stepping back, trying to look like it's taking a less aggressive, a less antagonistic stance, there's members of the ruling class here, that governor of Sao Paulo State, as I just mentioned, who see this protest movement as hooligans, as people that don't have a right to be respected. Now the government realized that this is an ugly issue for them as they prepare to launch further preparations for the World Cup and further preparations after that for the Olympic Games in 2016. So they're trying to step back a bit of this aggression. But as we've seen in Belo Horizonte earlier here today, it's getting violent. And also in the capital, Brasilia, protesters have actually taken over the roof of the National Congress. So far, pictures we've seen shown that the authorities are not trying to dislodge them, and that could be perhaps because they don't want ugly pictures of police coming in and acting violently towards these protesters who for now are just having a party on the roof of the National Congress.
All right, Adam Rainey in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Thank you very much indeed.